The Simpsons, Season 15, Episode 4, The Regina Monologues. Did The Simpsons really foreshadow Hurricane Ian in an episode from 2003? We're going to take a look at Season 15, Episode 4, titled The Regina Monologues. Season 15, Episode 4. This episode was written in 2003, which was 19 years ago. Season 15, Episode 4, 15 plus 4 equals 19. In Gematria, the name Ian equals 15, and Ian was a Category 4 hurricane for your 15-4. Early in the episode, guys, Marge points to this picture from their honeymoon with Homer hanging onto a wrecking ball. And as you can see above here, there was a post from the New York Times stating that Hurricane Ian came in like a wrecking ball. Billion-dollar disasters, the New York Times. As I write this Friday, there are no detailed estimates of damage from Hurricane Ian, which came like a wrecking ball across southwestern Florida. How interesting, eh? Came in like a wrecking ball. Look at the image here of Homer on a wrecking ball. There's another article here. Said Hurricane Ian literally came in like a wrecking ball with wind speeds 1 mile per hour away from a Category 5 and completely destroyed parts of southwest Florida. Came in like a wrecking ball. So Miley Cyrus has made a cameo in The Simpsons, and her most famous song is Wrecking Ball. I came in like a wrecking ball. Alright, and in 2020, Miley Cyrus and Cody Simpson broke up after 10 months of dating. Cody Simpson. You see here Miley Cyrus doing the all-mocking devil tongue, the one-eyed symbolism. But the Wrecking Ball, guys, pretty wild, eh? Now, I'm going to discuss these images here and what they mean and what they represent. Very interesting, guys. So, the Simpsons take a vacation to England and they arrive through Gate 22 to the airport. Gate 22. Remember, Miley Cyrus broke up with Cody Simpson in 2020, like 22. This is symbolic for a gateway time travel portal to the year 2022. Homer arbitrarily mentions that where he grew up has now been turned into a gator farm. And that's our first clue that this is referencing the state of Florida. Next, there's a scene with a flashing red sign that says, "We make keys." All right, it says, "We make keys" here. A second obvious reference to Florida, as in the Florida Keys, or perhaps Key Largo. The next scene, you'll see the Simpsons riding around on tour bus number 15. Remember, I told you that Ian in Gematria gets you 15, and this episode was from season 15. And then after this scene, there's a slow-moving Ferris wheel, which is symbolic of a slow-moving cyclone, imagery of a spinning hurricane. The next scene, guys, it shows Homer yelling at two men that were discussing placing bets on Bart and Lisa. Homer picks his kids up off the street and says, "You can't bet on my kids. This is America, pal," reminding us once again that this is about the United States and not England. Guys, I hope you're paying attention because this next scene is huge. The Simpsons run into Sir Ian McKellen outside of a theatre. Okay? Ian McKellen, who stars in the franchise Harry Potter. There's a phone booth, guys, off to the left, which is, of course, another symbolic archetype of time travel. Sir Ian McKellen plays the cryptic role of Hurricane Ian. as he first gets drenched with water. Okay, drenched with water. And what happens after that? Then an anvil falls out of the sky, landing on his boot. And lastly, he gets struck by lightning 7 times. Very interesting, isn't it? Sounds a lot like a hurricane. Sounds a lot like a hurricane. And let me remind you guys that Florida is known as a boot-shaped state. And the anvil falls out of the sky, landing on his boot. Also, the word, guys, Macbeth, was used intentionally 9 times in a row, which may represent counting up to the 9th month of the year, September, in which Hurricane Ian took place. I will show you the following scene, guys, but before I do it, I will explain it. Here the Simpsons are in a rental car when Marge comments about how well Homer is driving on the left side of the road, which sounds like a coded reference to the left or west coast of Florida. Then Homer drives right into a traffic circle roundabout where they go around and around hundreds of times. Marge says, keep turning, over and over as they keep driving around in circles until the sun starts to go down. Guys, you're about to witness the cryptic depiction of a spinning hurricane. Get ready for this. So as you can see here, the Simpsons are in a car and they're going round and around and around the roundabout. Very interesting, eh? Like a cyclone. Around and around and around. From the morning to night. Homer's getting frustrated now. And I'll explain that in a moment. He enters Buckingham Palace. And what happens there? Let's see who gets out of the carriage. Queen Elizabeth. And she ain't looking happy. So it's clear, guys, that that scene was no doubt a cryptic depiction of a spinning hurricane. So Homer, he stares out of that traffic circle, and in the scene he once again reminds us that this is about America when he says, that's it. That's it. I'm acting the way America acts best, unilaterally. As he takes a sharp turn, cutting across traffic and crashing right into Buckingham Palace. The Simpsons then nearly kill the Queen of England. Guys, I have no doubt in my mind that season 15, episode 4 of The Simpsons was absolutely synced up with Ian, the Category 4 hurricane. You may say this, guys, but Homer crashed into Buckingham Palace. That's not a reference to Florida. Wrong. According to Google Earth, there's a place within the Fort Myers area called Buckingham, Florida, as you can see here. Buckingham. Alright? Buckingham, Florida. And we know that the Fort Myers beach was absolutely devastated by Hurricane Ian. But I'm sure that's just a coincidence, right? So from 1941 to 1945, there was an Army air base operating out of this location here, guys. Fort Myers, Florida. Buckingham Army Airfield, Florida, 1944. During this Simpsons episode, Abe Simpson, Homer's father, has a few scenes and or references to his time spent serving in the army in 1944. Just saying though, guys. Just another coincidence there. Just another coincidence. I'd now like to draw your attention to the writer of this particular episode, John Joseph Swartzwelder Jr. Writer John Swartzwelder had a cameo role in Simpsons Season 8, Episode 8, titled Hurricane Neddy. 88 is a number that is famously associated with time travel. The Regina monologues, cryptically foreshadowing Hurricane Ian, was the last episode he ever wrote for the Simpsons series. 1 year later, in 2004, he published a book titled The Time Machine Did It. John Joseph Swartzwelder Jr., born February 8, 1949, is credited with writing the largest number of Simpsons episodes. John was one of the several writers recruited to The Simpsons from the pages of George Mayer's Army Man magazine. And did you know, guys, the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, yes, Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, is a 1 to 5, remember Ian gets you 15, is a 1 to 5 rating based on a hurricane's maximum sustained wind speed. This scale does not take into account other potentially deadly hazards such as storm surge, rainfall flooding, and tornadoes. The Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale estimates potential property damage. Guys, the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. It's absolutely unbelievable, this. So, do you believe the Simpsons writers actually have a time machine? Or do you think this is just another example of our scripted reality playing out before our very eyes? Please leave your thoughts in the comment section. And much love, guys. The Simpsons seem to always foreshadow the future. Much love, guys, and take care.